4th, 2024. The time is 10 a.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Brooks, Matari, and Duncan. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for public comment. And hearing none, we'll go ahead with our first item, transfer of funds from the Kootenai County Prosecuting Attorney's Office to Kootenai County Sheriff's Office. And Stan Mortensen, our Prosecuting Attorney.
Stanley Mortensen for the record. Yes, Board, thank you for entertaining this. As I put forth in my memorandum, I'm seeking to transfer up to $200,000 to the Sheriff's Office. Basically, my office is prosecuting a first-degree murder case right now, and there's the potential for I don't know how I want to word this. There have been no threats made, but because of the high risk in prosecuting murder suspects, there's a lot of unpredictability, and there's a lot of working parts to this case. There are investigators, there's prosecutors, there's victims, there's witnesses involved in this case who are all at risk, basically. And so between my office and the Sheriff's Office, we have seen fit to provide extra patrols and security details for certain people in the county. And that's costing the Sheriff's Office some logistics and staffing issues, and they're working through that. And because this is a matter that the county is prosecuting through my office, I do feel like my office should help cover the expenses. And so that's the reason why my office is seeking to transfer up to $200,000 to the Sheriff's Office. I do think that this is budget neutral. I'm seeking to do this through unspent wages from my office, since it's going to be covering wages from the Sheriff's Office. And so it's with that I submit to the board. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Bill, questions?
No questions.
Bruce?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. I just have one. Is this going to be like on a reimbursable thing? So after it's provided, then they can use your GL code, or we can do the transfer then?
I'm not sure how logistically that would be best served. I know that I'm fine giving the sheriff the money now up front. What I would ask for is a weekly or twice a month accounting of how that money's being spent. There's the chance that, as I put forth in my memo, the trial's in March. We don't know exactly how long this money's going to last. There's a chance that this money could last through the trial, and maybe there's going to be some left over. I would like to discuss getting that back. To the extent that this money is used before March, we might need to discuss what to do through March. But having a weekly or a bi-monthly accounting of how this money is spent, I think it'll allow us to kind of project how this money is going to be used and when it might expire or be used up. And so I'm fine. I trust the sheriff. I'm fine giving him $200,000 and letting him spend that as he sees fit. But again, I would like to see how that money is being spent, so that when the money runs out, or if it doesn't run out, we can kind of gauge things from there.
Okay. Arrow, are you able to speak to what the easiest thing is for your office?
This is Arrow Gidney for the record. Let me check with the finance director and see what she's done as procedure in the past. I don't want to say either way what would work best, but I'll get her direction, and then we'll check back in and see what she would direct for the office.
Okay.
Yeah, and if every other week when the payroll goes out, if the sheriff wants to then tell us how much he spent on overtime, then we just deal with it, on a paycheck issue.
Yeah, it seems like we're going to deal with it at the end anyhow. So the question is whether or not we're just going to give the authorization to allow for that, and then you can do the accounting at the end.
And I think either way, and I'll get Brandy's direction, but I think either way, either we moved it up front or we did it reimbursable, I think either way would work.
Okay.
But again, I'll confirm with her and make sure that was fine.
Okay, great. All right, yep.
Under Sheriff Nelson, for the record, since the onset of this detail, we have began keeping track of all the money being spent. It would be beneficial and easier for our staff if we were to code it in a certain way that we could track it easily through our payables. So whatever means is possible through Brandy in your office that we could do that and begin tracking it and making it payable or while entering payroll and it's not being reimbursed on the backside. If that helps, that's what the staff's suggestion would be for our side.
Yep, so we'll get that. We can just approve the up to 200,000 today with the auditor's office determining which way it's going to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
All right, motion?
I move that we approve allowing the Kootenai County Prosecuting Attorney's Office to transfer up to $200,000 to the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office for services that they are requesting.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, item 2, new hire above 97% of market in our prosecuting attorney's office. And Stan again.
Yes, thank you. Again, Stanley Mortensen for the record. As the board knows, I think it was back in November, the board approved salary increases for my office, and that was in order to justify paying new attorneys at AT2 Step 5. As the board knows, we had a history of recruiting issues and retention issues, and I think that my November request is going to help fix that, and I think we're starting to see the fruits of that request being approved. We had an employee leave last year to make more money somewhere else in the county, but quite frankly, she wants to come back, and part of the reason why she wants to come back is because now we're paying a higher rate of pay, and I would like to pay her according to her experience. And so now that we're paying starting attorneys at a certain rate, I think she needs to get one step higher than starting rate because she's inside her second year as an attorney. So my request is in recognition of her experience and in recognition of the board's approval back in November. And this would be budget neutral. This position's been vacant for several months, and we still have a few that might be vacant for a few more months until we hire people. But we have received an influx in applications, and this is really good news that we are actually getting somebody back who left to make more money somewhere else. And so I think this is just evidence that the board's approval in November is working.
Okay, questions?
I'm just curious, the person who was gone, did they acquire more experience that would be helpful for your office, do you think?
Yes. And just to be, I don't know how much I can put on the record, but they left this office to make more money, and they remained in the legal profession. And the experience they gained while they were gone is translatable and will be beneficial to the office upon her return. Yes.
Okay, and then HR, this fits in the step.
Yes, we reviewed it with Stan, and it's appropriate.
Perfect. Motion?
I move that we approve the new hire, greater 97% of market for the prosecuting attorney.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye, and I'll just clarify that this is for AT2 Step 6.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay, item 3, promotion request, Treasurer's Office, and Chief Deputy Jill Smith, please.
Jill Smith for the record. We have a treasury specialist too, and we had included in this year's budget, we expected that we'd be promoting her to treasury specialist 3 mid-year. She has met the competencies earlier than expected. She's been a rock star for the last several months, and she is now qualified to be promoted to a treasury specialist 3 a little bit early. And it's not budget neutral, or it is budget neutral, right? It is budget neutral.
Right, because the person who left was paid at a higher rate.
Yeah.
And all that, so, all right, questions, motion? Or- Questions?
Do you want to make the motion?
No, go ahead.
All right. I move that we approve the promotion request for the treasurer for grade 6, step 5.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Matari,
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye.
Thank
All
you.
right, you bet. All right, number 4, bonus payments request, Assessor's Office. And Shelley Amos, please.
Shelley Amos for the record. We have 2 individuals that have been selected for Employee of the Year. We do this yearly at the Assessor's Office. And with that, we would like to reward them with a bonus, including their plaques.
And this is budgeted for every year.
Correct.
Okay. All right, questions?
How much is the,
$100 per person. I know, right?
hold me back.
Yes.
Tell them thank you.
And I'm sure they appreciate it, just getting recognized in that
Yes.
way by your office. Questions?
No questions.
Okay.
I move that we approve the bonus payments request for the assessor's office, $100 for each employee.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. All right, and item 5 is position conversion, assessor's office. Shelley, again?
This is taking, in our residential appraisal division, we want to convert one of our vacant residential appraisers for appraisal technician. This position would be dedicated just for the residential group to help them with the work that they need and to keep them up to speed. And this position is a lower paying than the appraiser position. So.
Okay. Questions?
Just a little bit. You have 2 appraiser positions that are open. And then I know there was some question about with solid waste and doing work for them as well, where they might be, I guess they haven't been contributing
Right.
to the assessor budget for some of the staff work that they get,
Correct.
the benefit of that. Does it make sense to cut back on the assessors, the positions?
The position with our business intelligent analysis 2 individuals, they do different work than in the past when we had the technicians before that did this for the residential. And then the residential appraisers have now had to try to bring on these extra tasks that they've never done on top of their regular workload. So this is, I hope I'm explaining this correctly, but it would help them have more time to do their work as appraisers versus doing tech work also. Does that?
So, okay, I guess so my question is, when the techs were transferred into business intelligence analysts, that work was just all pushed back on the appraisers? Is that what I'm hearing?
That is what right now has been, if things are not caught up, then the appraisers have to do that work themselves. And it slows down their process for doing appraisals. So we would like to give them that information, have somebody that can do that information for them again, like they had it before.
Okay.
And that's to identify these, what is termed edge cases that kind of got past the tech guys.
Okay, so now we're getting a little technical. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I'm sitting in for somebody, so I
Okay.
don't want to say the wrong thing.
Okay.
I don't know if, did Ben talk to you, Zach? Can you?
Zach Newkirk for the record. Ben did speak with me about this, and from my understandings, and I don't want to speak for the department, but as I understood it, there is a variety of preparation work for each of the appraisers that needs to be done ahead of time before they're able to complete their appraisals, and this position would largely shoulder a lot of that preparation work, so the individual appraisers will become more efficient.
Okay. I mean, it sounds reasonable, it sounds good. I'm just a little disappointed that we approved 2 higher paying positions and we're not told that the work still needed to be done. And here we are approving another position, so.
Yes, and on the flip side, if we don't accommodate these requests, then we risk putting ourselves in a situation where the office cannot, complete their mission.
Yep.
So
Motion?
I move that we approve the position conversion for the assessor's office as requested to a 4-grade step 5.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Matari.
Aye.
Chair Duncan.
Aye. Thanks, Sharon. Okay, item 6, job descriptions. This is just a discussion item. I'm working with Chad over at Transit Department to redo a couple job descriptions to make sure that they are up to date now that the bifurcation has happened. So just wanted to update the board on that. And once Chad and I and HR get together, then we'll bring it before the board, the new job descriptions, and you guys can comment on those.
Okay. You know, I just wonder if it doesn't make more sense to give it 60 or 90 days to kind of settle in, as opposed to now, just because things kind of change and then revisit it.
Okay, so the stuff they're doing right now, you think is going to change?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know really what went on over at RMO. I think there was some surprising discoveries of what people were doing that we weren't really sure what they were doing beforehand, and then we discovered that they're doing things that we had no idea they were doing. And now that we've transferred 3 people over to the clerk's office, I don't know how much of that work they were doing that was related to transit. But it's fine with me. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just suggesting that maybe, give it 60 days, 90 days, so they kind of have gotten into a new groove and they know what they're doing.
Okay, so this just has to do with the position that's filled by a contractor right now?
Yeah.
And that will change once that contract is up, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what their structure is right now over there.
Well, that's what we're doing by looking at job descriptions and stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chad is the manager, and that's why we have to redo his job description and then get that hierarchy and do a new org chart and go from there.
Yeah. That's fine. It's just one of those, my first experience with that department was someone changed from W-2 to contract, and we had to give 3 raises and hire a full-time person. So I'm a little suspect until I can really kind of see what they're doing on a recurring basis. But I think that your suggestion is definitely prudent. I think it's just a matter of the timing.
Okay, did you want to be involved in it?
To the degree that it makes sense, if you want both of us to be involved. I mean, I'm happy just to see an org chart and let it, kind of look at what they're doing and let Chad kind of, get it stabilized, and then we can completely do job descriptions. I'm just concerned that if we do job descriptions now and then 3 months later we go, oh, well, something's changing, or I didn't recognize this, or I didn't realize that I had to do this stuff because these other 3 people that used to be here aren't doing the job anymore, then we're going to just reclassify. But I'm going to leave that up to you to make that call. So it's on this meeting.
All right. So that's it, just a discussion item and public comment.
I do. I want to know where this came from, who authorized it, and how much it cost.
You and me. You and me
When?
authorized it.
When?
The other day, you were in the office and one of the staff members asked you, and it is about $360 to $380
What did they ask me?
for a backdrop.
I think my memory is going then.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but yeah.
And what's the purpose of it?
It's a backdrop so that if there are speaking engagements in this room or in front of the media or anything like that, it can be used as a backdrop.
I think it ought to be done a little better than this with wrinkles. It's got wrinkles in it,
Well, I think it was just being opened up today.
and the lighting's bad,
Yeah.
so.
Well, that's just where it was placed today.
It won't live there. It'll be
It's not
taken
going to
down.
live there.
Okay, I just,
Anybody online, Jonathan? Okay, 10:19, meeting adjourned. Thank you all.